Good evening, guys. Another busy day on the homestead. I was mowing, making hay, but we thought it had been a while since we brought you a garden update and a chick update, so that's what we want to show you today. Come along with me and see how the farm is doing. Here we have our first row of potatoes. Nothing has come up yet. Next you can see the 2 rows of corn have come up. Our strawberries, this is the first day that we've seen blooms, but they must have been blooming for a couple days already. We are not 100% chemical free, so we have sprayed them now today because I would rather spray a little bit and end up with a nice big full strawberry instead of a knobby little clump of seeds. So I will spray a little bit if it means that I get better yield. And then you can see way off at the end there, close to the bins, that is our first cherry tree. I don't remember which is which, but one is a Carmine Jewel, one is the Juliet. It is supposed to be as close to the Bing as what we can grow in our area. And then we have Saskatoons, and I did find a little clump of flowers, so we should be getting some Saskatoons if we can beat the birds to them. I already see there's one hopping around over there, and I hope it's just going for worms because I want the produce. And you can see the plum tree is full of blooms on the top and bottom. Poor middle is all bare and empty. And the raspberries, we could pull the dead stuff out of there, but that is very low on our list of priorities. We have many more things that have much more importance that need to get done. So the tomatoes that you saw us plant a few weeks ago, they did not enjoy the cold weather. We almost went back to, not quite winter, but we almost went back to 0 here for a while. It was quite cool and cold. So the tomatoes are doing okay. The sunflowers have started popping up. So I have planted the rest of these sections of the pea fence full, and turns out I am not crazy or losing my mind. I was right that I remembered those other packages in the past having way more seed in them as what the packages were that I got this year, because I bought another 4 boxes thinking I needed 1 per section of fence, and I only used 1.5. So clearly there were way more seed in those boxes than in the boxes and packages that I ordered earlier in the year. So now the pea fence is full the rest of the way. And the peas that were already planted, as you can see, they have started coming up. And here the kohlrabi is still barely surviving. We did dust it a bit because the flea beetles, they are out and attacking. I believe this is the cabbage, cauliflower, and broccoli. Broccoli's still very small, and I just planted this celery fresh now after supper. And then these tomatoes, these were all the tomatoes that we still had inside that we weren't sure if we would have room for once we had everything else planted, but we got them all in here. And then these sweet potatoes, they did not appreciate that cold weather at all. So I'm hoping that they make it and still produce. I hope they haven't been set back too badly. We'll find out. And then these rows of potatoes, Mark has heaped them back up today. We had several that were poking out, and they were quite large already. The group, or the parts, the potatoes that had come up already. In the past we have, I kid you not, we have had potatoes this big. No joke. We have had potatoes that big before. And the best year was when we heaped them up with nice loose dirt like that, and we kept piling them up with nice loose dirt, because then the potatoes could grow in nice loose soil instead of compacting and all morphing into one because the ground was so hard. So I have very high hopes that we'll have a very good potato harvest again this year. And the next 2 rows of corn, they've come up beautifully as well. Here we have a sunflower seed that has come up, so I quickly planted another little tomato there that I was trying to find a home for. And then we've got some radishes up, and you can't see it from here, and I'm wearing my sandals, so I don't want to walk all over in the garden. And here I found 2 more homes for tomatoes next to these sunflowers. And these strawberries are blooming as well. So we will want to make sure we've sprayed those as well. Oh, The peppers have not enjoyed the cold weather either. I hope they're not set back too far as well. And then we've got a whole bunch of stuff that's all up. I think pretty well this whole row is up. I know at the far end there are beets, and I don't remember what's in the middle. I think it's spinach. I think that's spinach there, and onions.
And beans.
Yeah, the beans are up and the spinach is up at the end of the peppers here. And then onions. My mom had a whole extra tray of onions. They are not the long storing, there's the short storing, but that's okay because we have started using a lot more onions. So that'll be good. And our other onions, you can't see them, but they are surviving as well. Zucchini, and then some cucumbers have come up. And here we've got pumpkins coming. So that's great. We love pumpkin pie. Yeah, so it's looking good. It'll be another good harvest this fall, as long as we are blessed with the right weather and as long as we're blessed with the right weather and sunshine and rain and everything that comes with it, the right weather. So, yay! And the bugs. If the bugs can stay gone or if we can do our best to control them. All right, so I don't think you've seen the chicks in a while. Let's go take a look at them. Look, we got a really big chicken. Okay, so here are those meat birds. They are way bigger than what you saw them last time. The brown ones are the hens, and all these totally white guys, these are the meat birds. And they have gotten big. They've destroyed whatever greenery, like the grass here is all stripped to stems. They've destroyed it all. They love that. So they've destroyed that. You can see the lines where we feed them, where we lay the feed down. We found out a few years ago that if we didn't want to have so many crippled chickens, if we wanted healthier chickens all around, we needed to force them to get exercise. And so the best way we found to do that was to feed them outside, make them come outside for them, make them walk around for it, make them run in and out. They have to go in to get the water, out to get the feed. So they're getting a lot of exercise. Their legs, you can see how fat their legs are. They're getting nice, thick, fat legs. And we don't have near as many crippled ones. They're not piling each other so bad for food, which also helps. Because if you think like these big heavy birds, I mean, they're not, they look big right now compared to when we got them as chicks. But by the time we get to butchering date, these guys are going to be massive. And so if you imagine them jumping on each other, you imagine like any adult human being jumping on another adult human being, that hurts. So these guys too, when they jump on each other, trying to push the first one out of the way to get the feed, they do a lot of damage to each other. So by spreading them out like this, it really makes a difference. We're having much better results this year. There's the automatic waterer. It is working very well. That saves us a lot and a lot of chore time, and it helps ensure that they're getting all the water that they need. So it's working well, and we'll let this big helper here finish her chores. She was already starting to chase them all in and get them ready for night, so we'll let her finish. And the hens are much smarter. They have already basically put them themselves all to bed. It starts getting a little dusky. This isn't even, I wouldn't even call this dusk yet, but the chickens will decide that it's getting dark enough for them that they'd rather be safe in the barn. So they start coming in already. So you can see they just fly themselves up onto the roosts, safe for night from predators who are stuck on the land, and that's that. Kittens have been moved out of this nesting box, and I'm not sure oh, these kittens are still here with Mama. Oh, such a good mama. Good girl. She's a good mama. Our other cat keeps ditching her kittens for hours at a time, going hunting and whatever, and all of a sudden she's here and then she's gone for a long time. This mama, she's not gone long and she's right back at her kittens. Her kittens are not sitting there meowing and meowing for mom like the other kitten is, but maybe that's the difference between a second time mom and a first time. I don't know, but this one's a good mom. So guys, that is the farm tour for today. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't yet, hit the bell for notifications so you won't miss anything, and we look forward to bringing you our next video. That is the farm at this current time. Bye.